Gloria has grown up in a conservative environment, of religion, of respect. She was not prepared for this. She was not prepared for this. She was not prepared for this.
The sun shines, people forget.
Here we are, Los Santos, once again. Gloria was born here, yet she spent so little time in here. It's completely foreign to her. Surprisingly, she did not expect to see graffiti tags at the airport. Well, it is nighttime. She knows how dangerous it can get at night, even though she did grow up in a wealthy family. Her mother was the cause of the wealth from the family. Before her mother went to LS and obtained all the wealth she could, her family apparently was very poor. She doesn't know how it is to be poor. Her family always strived to make her a success. Apparently, despite making all that money, her mother was a disgrace to the family, especially back in Brazil. She is not respected. People do not like her. People do not appreciate her. Having all the money, she does not want to drive and be seen driving any cheap rental vehicles. She will go for the best of the best in the car rentals. There used to be an option to rent a special car here. She will settle for the second best option, which is a Primo. Probably the most expensive option. Let's place. There we go. All good. Alright, we're all ready. Let's get going. She's no stranger to driving vehicles. She is a stranger to driving stick shift. Thankfully, all vehicles at the rental were automatic. She wants to become a police officer. That was her dream her whole life. She's seen the police officers in Brazil, and she knows how tough of a job it is. But she's always been the tough one. She wants to prove it to her family that they are not criminals. That her mother was just misunderstood. That maybe, just maybe, she can redeem the Mendoza family back into the society. A new plate, a new slate. Nothing that's ever been seen before by anyone. Nothing that's anyone expected. There's only one way to find out. As Gloria continued moving on down the highway, she was perplexed by how empty it was. She was expecting much more traffic, even at nighttime. Surprisingly, the city was pretty empty. The law-abiding citizen she is, she hasn't made a single turn without using an indicator. Driving past Burger Shot, she got endowed by the advertisements she's noticed. She's not used to these advertisements. Usually they're half-assed or not made as well. However, in America the advertisements are very pristine and well-defined. So she turned her car around, knowing full well that she was not allowed to perform an illegal U-turn. She made a circle around the temple to get back to Burger Shot. She didn't want a burger, however. Walking into the Burger Shot, she sensed something was wrong. There were not a lot of people around. She looked at her wristwatch. She was not surprised there were not a lot of people around, as it was 1 AM in the morning. The plane arrived pretty late. It was delayed. She entered the Burger Shot and immediately greeted the only clerk working there. It was a late shift. Gloria approached the clerk and looked up at the menu. Gloria decided to order a seafood steak. Gloria was surprised when her food was already ready. She wasn't sure what to make of it. And with that, Gloria had her food. She wanted to find a place that was further away from the clerk. She felt a little awkward sitting next to him. It didn't take long for Gloria to finish the meal. She was a fast eater. She was all about time and time savings. After she threw her tray away, she politely waved at the clerk before exiting the building. She made her way back to the rental. She needed to find the place that her mother gave her. It was her only option. While it didn't look like a busy city, all hotels were booked in the richest area, and her only other options were Idlewood, which she wasn't going to take. Gloria had to stay at the location that her mother provided her. She was confused on where to find the parking spots, so she decided to approach someone about it. She spotted Natasha Valentine her first time. She didn't expect her to see her wearing such an attire. She didn't know what to make of it. She's never thought highly of prostitution, which is who she assumed Natasha Valentine was, based on her outfit. She was very judgy of that such thing, having grown up in Brazil. Gloria was not prepared to deal with this commotion. She was always a well-behaved child, not going out in parties, not really confrontational. Gloria obviously didn't believe that her mother was actually on a business trip. She was sure she was off doing drugs or having sex or whatever that was. But she didn't blame her mother.
Come back here and pick up my purse.
Gloria couldn't believe that Natasha Valentine was the person that she was speaking to. The person that Amy has told her so much about. The influential person. She portrayed her as a businesswoman wearing an attire of a businesswoman, not a businesswoman wearing an attire of a prostitution. Gloria didn't believe that Valentine was, well, Valentine. Possibly because she didn't introduce herself. However, she did ask for ID, and usually she just used to, well, giving ID when she's asked that. She didn't say anything wrong. She didn't expect Valentine to run off with it wearing those heels, so she didn't see anything bad with it. Besides, she was dressed as a police officer of sorts. Unfortunately, Mendoza was already on a plane, so she couldn't answer. Gloria was not excited about moving in into her mother's apartment from the stories she heard from all over the internet. Her family was, well, looked down upon by many people from the controversial popularity of Amy Mendoza.
If I so much as bruise.
She was willing to fix that. Perhaps maybe she could redesign the apartment to more fit her lifestyle. For Gloria, staying in Idlewood, it wasn't an option. She did not want to get herself in trouble. Valentine and Amy's daughter did not go off in the wrong foot. In the right foot. I can't speak. Valentine and Amy's daughter did not go off on the right foot. Gloria was not expected to be searched. Gloria has grown up in a conservative environment, of religion, of respect. She was not prepared for this. She was not prepared for this. She was not prepared for this. She was not. From this first encounter, Gloria knew it would be an almost impossible task to prove that Mendoza family could be law-abiding citizens. But she set out to do it anyway. She found out where all the people were hanging out. In a luxury apartment. She was much more comfortable talking to Carrie, as she wasn't dressed like a stereotypical prostitute. Gloria had a mixed set of feelings. She did not expect a businesswoman to be dressed like that. She was very mortified when she realized she suspected a rich person. Something like that is not very well appreciated. Gloria was stunned. She was not prepared for anything of this sort. She was expecting to be dealing with people dressed in a certain fashion, which affected her a lot. It affected her perception. It made her doubt everything she knew about people. All her life she grew on with people dressed in their uniforms and doing what, you could tell from a glance what they were doing. However, as she entered LS, something has changed. Something weird had happened. For the first time in Gloria's life, people were dressed differently from their uniforms. She was not ready to handle that. At this point, Gloria wanted to forget about the encounter and simply head to sleep. She was extremely tired by this point. The flight lasted a long time. 16 hours, I believe, was the flight, if you'd include the delays. The in-flight movie wasn't that bad, but the food was terrible. At the end of the day, she made a huge journey to the world she hasn't explored yet. She was excited. But at the same time, she was frightened. She didn't know what was gonna happen. She knew people hated her family. She knew this was a dangerous place. Her mother told her about all that stuff that happened to her, yeah. Little did she know, she didn't know half of it.